What are these two?
It's
Come to work.
yeah, it's kind of like so they do it once a year. They'll get to a certain point where they'll leave.
Oh, if they sit next to me.
And you have some tell them what to do, and they go and make motions.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's interesting. No, not at all. It's good. Yeah. I got it. So, if you have to get up and right here, and the mic is already there. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah.
Do it one time. Do it hard. I'm going to call the May 1st meeting of the West Des Moines City Council to order and invite you all to stand and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance, led by our students from Fair Meadows. Okay, you guys ready?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please sign in. Five members present.
Okay, and I would just say that Councilwoman Hardman is on her way. She had a work meeting that went late, but she should be here momentarily. Ryan, are there any changes to the agenda?
There are no changes to the agenda per se, but we do have two items with changes. Item 4F, deferring driveway parking for Sugar Creek Hills. The resolution language has changed. There's a memo on the dais for that. And then item 402, proclamation for Jewish American Heritage Month. There were some language changes in that proclamation as well.
Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Do I have a motion to approve the agenda? Move approval. Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Please vote.
Four yes.
Okay, Citizens Forum, I would just say this. I recognize there's some people here from Furry Friends, and maybe on behalf of Furry Friends. There is no item on the agenda regarding Furry Friends or the contract with Furry Friends. So if somebody is here to address the council in this regard, this is going to be the time to do it. We'll move on to item 2, Citizens Forum. Anybody from the audience who would like to address the council on anything that is not either part of public hearings or new business, please come to the podium, give us your name and address for the record, and I would ask that you keep it civil and respectful and under 5 minutes. And Ryan, while we're waiting to see if anybody would like to address the council, why don't we have everybody re-sign in? Okay, Britt, please give us your name and address for the record.
Sure. Britt Gagne, owner of properties at 1209 Grand Avenue, 1211 Grand Avenue, and 3505 Mill Civic Parkway in West Des Moines. So I'll kind of start out. I believe everybody else here, minus my boyfriend, is a citizen and resident of West Des Moines today that are coming because of the concerns that we've had regarding the city basically, I guess, choosing to abandon the services that have been provided by Furry Friends for the animals in West Des Moines. Furry Friends started in West Des Moines when we were a part of a citizens committee and recognized by requesting data and eventually getting that handwritten data that was showing when the city was running animal control, things were not good for the animals. 32% of the cats left alive. The way that the animals died there when they did not get the chance to leave alive was not in accordance with the AVMA standards for euthanasia. This was truly concerning. However, we wanted to help. And so we put forth endless hours of volunteering, worked to be able to build donations so that we could make this community into what it has been for the last decade, which is applauded around the nation as being one of the safest animal communities in the entire nation. Our live release rate for the animals that come in, which are not just stray animals and animals from neglect cases, but also owner-surrendered animals from residents in West Des Moines, was 98% last year. It has been at 95% or above for the entire time that Furry Friends has been involved. Even when, in those cases, when the city ran the shelter, we committed to taking animals and rescuing them. And while we had staff there waiting to be able to tend to their medical needs, they were being killed by the city staff. That is heartbreaking to go back to remembering how that was. The city hasn't given really any response to any citizens who have reached out thus far of any specific plan as to how the city is going to ensure that animals continue to have a safe outcome, any sort of plan regarding how the taxpayers are going to be funding this, given that Furry Friends provided an enormous amount of services for what basically ends up being 5% or less of the budget. The animal control officers, the 4 positions for animal control officers, or now they're called neighborhood service specialists, is funded at $378,000. This year, we have had 1 officer be involved with animals on 4 days, another officer being involved with animals on 8 days, and another officer being involved with animals on 7 days. They have contributed to 25% of the animals that actually need assistance in West Des Moines, not even counting the owner surrenders. Meanwhile, our staff being paid around $20,000 a year has been expected to handle 75% of that. Yet the city has indicated that they feel that we haven't met our burden in the contract. I have been waiting for over a year for the city to respond regarding conversations that they indicated would occur regarding an ordinance that we viewed as problematic. It seems that when the city feels that they're being challenged about an animal issue and being challenged about a position that they may not want to take, that this is the end result, that animals are going to suffer because the city is going to decide to walk from those resources that are being provided. It is heartbreaking not only for me, but for everybody else who is here who has been a part of ensuring that we have built those resources for those animals in West Des Moines. I frequently spend my time volunteering, coming up at 3 o'clock in the morning to plow the streets of the facilities that we have built in this city. When the city ended up with a bond, something that was so large that it was going to require a bond, when there was citizen input for what needed to happen with building an animal shelter, the city was more than happy to encourage us to build all of these resources within the city. We did that and also decided who we would partner with in Clive and Urbandale based on the fact that West Des Moines wanted to partner with those individuals. We have spent millions of dollars building in this community to be able to support all the animals that are in need. That appears to be of little to no value to the city, as it now indicates that it is not in need of those services. Nobody really knows what the plan is.
Britt, if you could finish up, I'd appreciate it. Your 5 minutes is up, so if you have a closing comment, I'll let you do that.
Yeah. So We will let you guys hear from the residents who are also impacted by this, but I believe that the city has been irresponsible in deciding a plan that is harmful to animals as well as harmful to taxpayers.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else for Citizens Forum? How you doing, Lori?
Hi, my name is Lori Teal, and I live at 5717 Aspen Drive, in West Des Moines. So
Go ahead.
I'm here. It's my first city council meeting, and so
Well,
I don't normally do, thank you, I normally don't do this, but I just feel, thank you. I understand that the relationship between Furry Friends and West Des Moines might not go forward, and I just feel so strongly that Furry Friends provides wonderful services, and it's just disappointing to know that this might not happen. So I'm here to, at some point want to find out what the plan is and find out if we can start communication again and, possibly get this resolved somehow. But, the main thing is the animals, and Furry Friends has done a great job, and without, the euthanization or live to release rate is extremely low. So I just hope that we can, come to some sort of solution that's the best for the animals. So, thank you.
Thank you, Lori, appreciate it. Okay, anybody else for Citizens Forum? Go ahead, give us your name and address for the record, please.
Zach Flick, I'm actually a resident of Des Moines, West Des Moines, 1155 Office Park Road. I had no idea that this was going to be a topic, but it is actually speaks near and dear to my heart because my daughter is recently involved with Furry Friends, and it's something of an outlet for her to pursue her passion of veterinary. It's a way for her at 12 to become involved in that that functioning of the business side of things, but the animal care. And at 12, that's an opportunity that isn't really allowed for employment. So the fact that Furry Friends has a program there that not just my daughter, but I see that sign-up list. There's tons of names on that sign-up list. It's beyond the millions of dollars. It's an invaluable amount of opportunity for these children to get exposure to that kind of work ethic and understanding of how a business would run like that. So I would encourage you, I'm not sure all of the background of it, but I wanted to add that because it's really important in our family.
Thank you so much, appreciate it. Okay, anybody else for Citizens Forum?
My name's Nancy Boyd. I live at 1351 South 51st Street in West Des Moines, and I've been a volunteer at Furry Friends for many, many years. And I do mostly fundraising, and I remember when the shelter was on Swanson Boulevard, just a tiny little speck. And it just like I said, I do a lot of fundraising for them and going out in the community and listening to people in West Des Moines that love and have adopted from Furry Friends and believe in the no-kill movement and realize how important the spade and neutering clinic, education, the adoptions, being available to take intakes for strays, people that don't know, they found a dog along the wayside and they don't know what to do with it, so they take it to Furry Friends. And I don't know what the agreement or anything is with animal control and that whole thing, because it seems like that's kind of a big contentious thing, but you don't lose your animal just from 7 to 3. You need to be available around, maybe not at the night shift, but if you're getting paid to do this, you need to be available. And I know that I remember when West Des Moines had the intake shelter was over by the Mae Davis Clinic. It was a small tin building, and pretty much it was, if you got in there, you're not coming out alive. And that's tragic. And I don't think the taxpayers and the people of West Des Moines, because like I said, I've talked to so many people, and they, I think, would be very upset and not happy with their taxpayer dollars not going to fund a place that meets the needs of the community. And not only spay and neutering, education, adoption, you know, there's just so much going on there. And we're so limited because of the funding. And, you know, when you have other places getting a lot of taxpayer dollars, and we're pretty much running on donations and fundraising, I want my taxpayer dollars to go to keeping track of the animals, and I don't know. It's just going to break my heart if, and I just hope that they have a plan no matter what happens, but it can't go back to the way it was, because it just can't. So.
Well, we appreciate it, Nancy. Thank you for sharing your
Thank you.
feedback. Okay, anybody else for Citizens Forum?
Hi, my name is Kelly Pierce. I reside at 275 South 87th Street in West Des Moines. And I just want to clarify, will we have an opportunity during new business? I have comments on behalf of the West Des Moines Historical Society.
Yes, you will have an opportunity during new business and public forums to speak.
Great.
So this is just for anything that is not part of new business
Okay,
or
that's all I have.
public hearings.
Thanks.
So, okay, go ahead.
My name's Mary Ann Reeves. I live at 1172 South 52nd Street here in West Des Moines. Been a resident here of Iowa since 2004. And I have to say, I mean, West Des Moines is an awesome city, and we certainly have a lot of people out there with pets and have a very humane and, you know, concerned attitude about, you know, not seeing animals racing across the roads and, you know, causing, you know, ultimately accidents, you know, when that happens. And without having a place like Furry Friends in our community, I feel like it would be a real disservice. To kind of follow up on something you said too, you know, and you probably are all aware of it here, but the school district in West Des Moines actually provides the students community service hours for volunteering over at Furry Friends, and those kids really benefit from that. It is a great opportunity. I was going to mention I had, on Monday, Sunday night, I had live trapped a kitty who was darting back and forth. I had no idea if it was going to be feral or not feral. I had it in the trap. I was able to make arrangements to get it into the clinic Monday morning. And as it turns out, the kitty really isn't a feral and has come out in great health from the services that she got last Monday. And I appreciate being able to contribute, you know, financially to Furry Friends and to the TNR program. But I was going to mention, when I was at the, over at the clinic, there were 23 cars there to pick up their animals from clinic that day, and most of those folks were either had a couple of carriers or multiple dogs. So there were probably a minimum of 45 animals that were serviced last Monday. And that's huge, you know, and you just think about what's going to happen with them if we lose this service. So I know I've spoken with my neighbors about it, and, you know, we're just all hopeful that you can come to some agreements. Thanks.
Thank you, Mary Ann. Appreciate it. Anybody else for Citizens Forum?
It's a big group here. My name's Ruth Ryan. I live at 308 23rd Street in West Des Moines. I want you also to reconsider the contract with Furry Friends. I've worked as a volunteer there for the past 10 months, and I work mostly with the feral cats. These cats and dogs that come into Furry Friends aren't wild animals that God put on the earth that way. They've been failed by people that neglected, abused, didn't get them neutered, didn't take care of them or couldn't take care of them anymore, weren't able or didn't have the finances. In the time I've worked with the feral cats, almost all of them have found homes. They tame down, they're nice cats, and they go home with people, and it benefits. It's a win-win for both sides when they do that. I know that I'm blessed to be in West Des Moines with all the amenities we have and all the things we have here. I would like to think that we have it in our hearts and our budget to take care of these poor creatures who are in this situation through no fault of their own. We have one cat that's been there 18 months. She came in before they did the trap neuter release, and she's going to be there for the rest of her life. She lets me, I've been visiting her for 10 months. She lets me pet her occasionally, and that's all she's ever going to do. That's what she is. So it's really sad when I go visit. I take her treats just because she has such a sad life. Furry Friends does so much for the community and so much for the animals and the people in the community that I'd like you to reconsider and to continue to fund this wonderful place. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, anybody else for Citizens Forum? I'll tell you what, anybody for Citizens Forum, why don't you come and line up over here so we can know how many people are waiting to speak on Citizens Forum. Okay, go ahead. Give us your name and address for the record, please.
Elizabeth Yates, I go by Betsy Yates, 716 20th Street in West Des Moines, just south of Fair Meadows.
All right, thank you, Betsy.
Well, we moved into our house in 2012, and promptly when we moved in, we went to Furry Friends and got our dog. She was a puppy, and now she's 11 years old. And then during the pandemic, April of 2020, we decided to start fostering kittens through Furry Friends. And we've now fostered 60 or 70 cats and kittens through that time. And these cats and kittens have found wonderful homes with wonderful people who want a cat or want a kitten, either for their child or for their other cat. And it's just been, Furry Friends is such a gift to this community. And I know you guys have a lot on your plate, but I really would invite you to reconsider any negotiations with the organization. We've had wonderful joy from our dog, and we have found, we've met many people we wouldn't have met through fostering. And to me, I had no idea any of this was going on. And to me, it's just such a gift and such a relief to be able to say, oh, that cat is going to go, or dog or whatever, is going to go to Furry Friends, and is just really, I know they're going to find a great home. If the owner doesn't come, I know that they're going to be able to find a great home. There's no reason for anything else to happen but to find a great home. And I've been in there, 8 o'clock when an intake comes in, and I'm like, what do you got back there? And it's this, a dog that's clearly someone's pet, and it just got out. It got scared of fireworks, and then we can return it with its owner. So anyway, I would just really hope you would reconsider, any trouble that's going on, because this organization really is a gift. It's been a gift to our family, and it really is a gift to the community. So.
Thank you so much, Betsy. Appreciate it. Okay. Please give us your name and address for the record.
Hello, I'm Hallie Yates, 716 20th Street in West Des Moines. So Furry Friends has been a big part of my life for the past 4 years with fostering kittens, and that was my mom. We got our dog from Furry Friends. And I think what's really cool is that it's a really special thing for our community, and I think people look for a place like this to get their animals from. Like, we've had adopters from Nebraska, and I think we need to continue to be and set an example for people to look for when they look for places on how to take care of stray animals. And I really don't want, like, we fostered 60 or 70. I don't want that to have been 20 or 25 with the current survival rate at the other shelter. So I want you to keep the shelter here.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming up and sharing. Really appreciate it.
Hi, my name is Randall Boyd. I live at 1351 South 51st Street, West Des Moines. I cannot say a lot that hasn't already been said. I know that I've lived in West Des Moines for about 23 years. I know our first summer in West Des Moines, we were coming back from 8035, and we found a dog it was running loose, and we gathered it up and we took it to what was then passed for a shelter. I mean, I use the term loosely. It wasn't, I mean, for a city like West Des Moines, it was like, it was very embarrassing. I mean, you know, to be calling that a shelter. I don't know the specifics of the contract or what the issues of the contract are or what have you, but I think it might be worthwhile if we could get a committee together or something, or a working group or something to look at the issues and see if we can hash those out or something, and move forward. I mean, and regardless of what does happen with Furry Friends, I mean, we just can't go back to what we had before.
Thanks so much, Randall.
Thank you. My name is David Chapman, 191 64th Street, West Des Moines. Like the previous speaker, I don't have a lot that hasn't already been said, but I would like to be here. I've been a volunteer with Furry Friends Refuge and actually have been fostering animals for them for over a year now. And I would really like to talk about this from a business standpoint. I've seen a lot of the numbers in the contract and really feel like it's a good way for the city to solve the solution for what happens from an animal control standpoint, to work with Furry Friends without having to spend the money on the bricks and mortar and go through the process of hiring their own staff and having their own facilities. And I know there's a midpoint between where some of the numbers need to be that I think we can get to and find a workable solution here. So again, I would just encourage both groups to find a solution here, because I think Furry Friends provides a fantastic solution, and I think it's also a very good deal for the city, and probably the most cost-effective way that we can efficiently and effectively help our animals here in our society. So thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Okay, anybody else for Citizens Forum? Okay, seeing no one in the chamber, anybody online for Citizens Forum, please hit *6, not #6. *6 to unmute yourself. Give us your name and address for the record. Given some extra time because we've had some people struggle with this. *6 if anybody wants to address the council on Citizens Forum. Okay, hearing no one, Citizens Forum is closed. Move on to item 3, Mayor, Council, Manager Report, Other Entities Update. And we will start this time with Tom Haddon, City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. I just have a few items to share with you today. Our city recently received the Tree City USA Award. Trees are important, and this award shows us we care about our environment. Our big Police Week celebration is coming up too. We'll have special activities for everyone on Thursday, May 18th at the police station. Please join us from 5 to 8 p.m. for a great time. We'll have free food, emergency vehicles on display, and free bike helmets for kids. We also will celebrate National Public Works Week the same evening at the Valley Junction Farmers Market. This is another free event with lots of fun activities for families. Everyone will have a chance to meet the city employees who plow our snow and take care of our streets and sewers. Thank you.
Thank you so much, City Manager Haddon. Okay, moving on to Councilman Hudson for your report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Have a couple of items just to share. Let's see, we had a Parks and Rec Board meeting last week or 2 weeks ago. Lots of new projects going on at parks throughout the city, and of course, rec season is upon us, so activity season. I wanted to ask the students up here, how many of you all do sports and activities through the city of West Des Moines? Any sport at all this summer? Anybody raise your hand? Do any? Excellent. See? The kids do like the sports and the activities in West Des Moines, and there's lots of fun ones to be had thanks to the Parks and Rec Department. Volleyball tournaments aplenty down at the rec center. We saw, I think, just 200 teams, which is just really, really impressive to think about. And that brings me to the Catch Des Moines board meeting that we had. And when it comes to Catch Des Moines, that's the Convention and Visitors Bureau here in the Des Moines metropolitan area. And, you know, every quarter we meet and they share a couple of things. And when it comes to 2 of the 4 biggest, biggest sites and or economic developers, when they're bringing in basically people to the metro, we got two things. We have Jordan Creek Town Center and we have the West Des Moines Recplex. Nearly 25% of all hotel stays in the entire metropolitan area and city of West Des Moines, and that generates $12 million of economic development just in the last quarter. So Catch Des Moines really appreciates the work that West Des Moines has done to make our city and our metropolitan area a regional hub. That's exciting. I wanted to thank Audrey Kennis because she just had our first Community Engagement Institute, and this is involving a lot of residents who want to get more involved in community building, and I think that's really exciting because I think there are residents who want to get involved because, you know, every month or two, you know, we have openings on our different boards, and we have a lot of different boards in the city of West Des Moines, but my goodness, it just seems, Mr. Mayor, do we have way more people who have applied for boards than board positions?
Yes, we have a number of people that are waiting to be appointed, and some that have been waiting for years.
It seems as though a lot of people want to get involved.
Yep, a lot of people wanting to volunteer.
So this is a great opportunity, so I was happy to be involved there. And I have noticed, because I have a 5-year-old, and he likes to play at the playgrounds, and no? All right. Well, I wanted to offer, because we're really excited because several new playgrounds have some new play equipment. It's got that cool rubber surface, you know, instead of lousy wood chips. We all remember lousy wood chips. They're on their way out, folks, and it's exciting. And thus ends my report.
That was an excellent report. Councilman McKinney, I dare you to top that.
I'm not going to top that, but I'm here with Jace this evening. I thought Jace could just briefly introduce himself. Jace?
Hi, my name is Jace Edwards, and I go to Fair Meadows Elementary School.
Terrific. Awesome. So this is it's fun to have everybody here. My report, very briefly, Your Honor, we had a development planning meeting this morning, myself and Councilwoman Hardman, talking about a number of upcoming projects. So it's exciting to see that things continue to move forward and folks interested in doing some great activity in the city. Second, Chief Scott, congratulations on swearing in 2 new great officers to the police department. I think that was last week, and Mayor for doing the honors, so to speak, and it was a great event. So thank you for all the work you guys are doing. Last, I'd say, I think since we were last here before the dais, we had in the last couple of weeks, we got a report from Tim Stiles on our bond rating. And so I took a look at, thankfully, we had received the designation as AAA bond rated, which is fantastic. And I thought I'd look and see how many other cities in the state are AAA bond rated. Because I've always wondered, I keep hearing about we have this designation. So I went to the S&P Global Ratings site, got relevant information, signed up, and it turns out the city of West Des Moines is the only city in the state with a AAA bond rating. Very significant. And it's something, absolutely. And it's something that helps ensure that taxpayer dollars go that much further on the projects that we're doing. So I was really excited to see that and share that. So that's all I have at this time, Mayor.
Okay, I appreciate it. I think I will do my report at this time. I really don't have much of a report except for I want the mayor to do an introduction here, if you will. Here, we'll use this one. So you don't have to lean so far.
Hi, my name is Alex Lewis, and I also go to Fair Meadows Elementary.
And I am honored to have Alex here with me. This is one of my favorite days, Student Government Day with Fair Meadows. So, also, I'd like to take the time at this time to recognize some former councilmen that are here in the chamber with us. Councilman Ted Omart, if you'd stand up, and Councilman Jim Sandagger. And I'd also like to recognize former First Lady Sally Gare, who's here, if she could stand up as well. If we could have a round of applause for them. And that concludes my report, and I will pass it to Councilwoman Hardman.
We don't get to speak?
You can do that at another time.
No, Ted, you don't get it.
Okay. I'm going to let Councilwoman Mary make my report. She can use that one. Okay, go ahead, Councilwoman. Introduce yourself first.
I'm Mary Flick, and I go to Fair Meadows Elementary. I'm giving report for Councilwoman Hardman, member at large. Councilwoman Hardman proudly participated in an affordable housing summit and represented the city of West Des Moines to discuss the value of affordable housing. She also attended the quarterly multicultural reception and read the Affordable Housing Proclamation perception held at Iowa Realty Office in West Des Moines. She also attended the West Des Moines She also attended the West Des Moines Chambers Black and Brown Business Summit and made welcoming reports. Remarks.
All right.
Awesome.
Good job, I think. Good
Beautiful
job,
job.
Councilwoman Mary. I think she should take my seat every council meeting. So I want to thank the students for being here. Sorry I could not be here for earlier festivities. I work at a hospital, and sometimes unexpected things happen at hospitals that you just cannot walk away from. So, but it's really nice to see everybody in their green. It's really nice to see the diverse representation of students, and it's really neat to see that they see how City Council works. So, and I'm really proud of Mary. She said that she is a volunteer at Furry Friends and really likes that organization. So I appreciate you understanding some of the dialogue and people's passion that was expressed today. Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, Mary, Councilwoman Mary and Councilwoman Hardman. Now we go to Councilman Trevilian for his report.
No report at this time, but I'd like Hadley to introduce herself.
All right.
I'm Hadley Wagner, and I go to Fair Meadows Elementary School.
Nice. Nice to have
Okay, thank you, Councilwoman. Appreciate that. On to Councilman Lotz.
Hi, my name is Quentin. Thank you for the pizza for the Fair Meadows students. Nothing more to report, Your Honor.
Short and sweet, Councilman. That's the most short and sweet we have ever heard you. Also most eloquent and most intelligent. Okay, moving on down the line, and we're going to come back in case we need to send. Okay, well, go ahead, Ryan. Mr. City Clerk.
Yep, we'll let the city clerk team here introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Zane Stolwich, and I go to Fair Meadows Elementary.
My name is Chris, and I go to Fair Meadows Elementary.
Very well done. Who did we miss? Do we need to come back down here? Okay, let's go back down here to the city attorney, please. City attorney, would you please introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Rita, and I attend at Fair Meadow Elementary School.
All right.
City manager here. Tell your name.
Okay, Mr. City Manager, you were amazing before. Keep up the good work
you.
here. Go ahead. You want to give us your name?
Hi, my name is Nate Rose, and I attend Fair Meadows Elementary School.
All right. You got a future being a city manager.
Another masterpiece.
All right. Moving on to Councilman Hudson.
Hi, I'm Coral Mathis, and I go to Fair Meadows Elementary.
All right. We get everybody?
We got everybody.
All right. Thank you, students. Appreciate it. Okay, we're going to move on to item 4, consent agenda. Are there any items that any council person would like to have pulled and voted on separately? We will pull items 4. 4O. We're going to pull everything under item 4O. Is there anything else that anybody would like to have pulled?
4H, please.
Okay, 4H. Any other items? Otherwise, I take a motion for the remainder.
Motion to approve.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Please vote.
So we approve all of these items, except for a few.
5 yes.
Okay, item 4H, resolution establishing public hearing regarding the final design, site selection, and consideration of acquiring agricultural property, Grand Avenue reconstruction west of I-35 to South 60th Street. Councilman McKinney.
Just going to abstain for potential conflict.
Okay, is there somebody who'd like to move this item?
Motion for approval.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, please vote.
I'll let you push the button.
4 yes, 1 abstain.
Okay, and that item is approved. We will show that there's been one abstention due to a potential conflict of interest. Okay, moving on to item 4.0. We've got 4 proclamations that I'm going to read. Item 4.01 is Asian, Native, Hawaiian, and Pacific American Heritage Month, May of 2023. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. I will read the proclamation, and then I believe we have some representatives here to receive this proclamation. I'd ask you to come down and take a picture with myself and the council. And I would say all the students too, but that would probably take too long to get back to the dais. So, okay. Whereas during the month of May, we celebrate the history and achievements of Americans of Asian, Indian, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander descent. They have significantly contributed to the success and cultural vibrancy of America. And whereas they have played a key role in American history, and they the build out of critical infrastructure that has spurred development, growth, and economic opportunities for all Americans. And whereas, as the fastest growing American population with over 20 ethnicities, a multitude of languages, cultures, religions, and traditions, there is no single story that defines the Asian American experience, representing 6.4% of the city of West Des Moines' population. And the fastest growing minoritized group, Asian and Pacific Islanders, have contributed to the economy, culture, education, arts, sciences, and technological developments of the city. And whereas, despite their numerous contributions and influences, we cannot deny the unique challenges Asian and Pacific Islanders face. The increase in racially motivated discrimination and harassment has increased, and we join Act to Change, a national nonprofit dedicated to fighting bullying and hate, to declare this message. We envision a world where all youth, including those in the AAPI community, have the opportunity to grow up feeling proud and supported in the development of their identities and sharing of their stories. And whereas the City of West Des Moines stands with the Asian, Indian, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander communities in condemning acts of violence and discrimination, and we commit to building a safe and inclusive city where all community members can live and thrive. Now, therefore, I, Russ Trimble, Mayor of the City of West Des Moines, Iowa, on behalf of the City Council, do hereby proclaim the month of May 2023 and May 18th, 2023, respectively, to be Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Heritage Month and Asian American and Pacific Islander Day Against Bullying and Hate. Together, let us commit to embracing diversity that enriches our city and ensuring all residents are afforded equal opportunities to thrive. And with that, I would ask you to please vote. Is there any discussion before I take your votes? Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, I'd ask you to please vote. And after you vote, I would ask you to join me down front for a picture.
5 yes.
All right, students, you stay here, and we will all be right back momentarily. Okay, the next item, item 402, Jewish American Heritage Month, May 2023. Can I get a motion to approve and a second?
Motion for approval.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay. And I will read the proclamation. Whereas during May, the city of West Des Moines celebrates the vibrant and varied experiences of Jewish Americans and recognizes their immeasurable contributions to our city, state, and nation. And whereas first proclaimed in 1980 as a week-long celebration by President Jimmy Carter and ultimately signed into law by President George W. Bush in 2006, calling on state and local governments to observe the history and contributions of Jewish Americans, and whereas the Jewish community in Iowa, totaling approximately 5,500 people, has always had a strong presence. They have made significant contributions to our communities through science, literature, arts, business, technology, politics, and civil rights. And whereas, despite these contributions, we cannot sit quiet and ignore the reality that 3,697 reports of anti-Semitic incidents were recorded by the Anti-Defamation League in the U.S. in 2022, the highest level reported since the organization started tracking in 1978. And whereas, despite the enduring history of anti-Semitism, injustice, and discrimination, Jewish Americans have pushed to advance civil rights and justice for all peoples, and we honor their countless achievements. Now, therefore, I, Russ Trimble, Mayor of the City of West Des Moines, Iowa, do hereby proclaim May 2023 as Jewish American Heritage Month, and I call upon the residents of West Des Moines to learn about the history and current experiences of Jewish Americans throughout the year and stand in solidarity against hate. Signed this first day of May 2023. Is there any discussion regarding this proclamation? Okay, hearing none, please vote.
Five yes.
Okay, will the gentleman and anybody else that are here join us down front for a picture?
Yeah. That is your
Do I have the updated proclamations or no? Yeah, that's what you got. Okay. Okay, moving on to item 403, Professional Municipal Clerks Week, April 30th through May 6, 2023. This was not one that was supposed to be read. This was one that our clerk over here said we only had 3 to read. So there was no way we weren't going to pull this one. So can I get a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded, and I will read the proclamation. Whereas the office of the professional municipal clerk, a time-honored and vital part of local government, exists throughout the world, and whereas the office of professional municipal clerk is the oldest among public servants, and whereas the office of professional municipal clerk provides a professional link between the citizens, the local governing bodies, and agencies of government at other levels, and whereas professional municipal clerks have pledged to be ever mindful of their neutrality and impartiality, rendering equal service to all, whereas the professional municipal clerk serves as the information center on functions of local government and community, and whereas professional municipal clerks continually strive to improve the administration of the affairs of the office of professional municipal clerk through participation in education programs, seminars, workshops, and the annual meetings of their state, provincial, county, and international professional organizations. And whereas it is most appropriate that we recognize the accomplishments of the office of the professional municipal clerk, now therefore I, Russ Trimble, Mayor of the City of West Des Moines, Iowa, do hereby proclaim the week of April 30th through May 6th, 2023 to be Professional Municipal Clerks Week in the City of West Des Moines, Iowa, and I further extend appreciation to our West Des Moines City Clerk's Office and to all professional municipal clerks for the vital services they perform and their exemplary dedication to the communities they represent. And with that, I guess I would start off our comments. I pulled this proclamation because we've got Ryan and Julius who are sitting here at the end from our clerk's office, and these guys are absolute workhorses. I mean, they put together the entire packet for city council and do a whole other host of things for us in the city. They keep us on the straight and narrow, and we would really be in trouble without them. The amount of hours they put in just to prepare for a city council meeting is absolutely unbelievable. So I just can't even tell you on behalf of the city council how much we appreciate you guys and all that you do, and we appreciate your families for all the extra hours that they allow you to put in to make sure that you get these packets done and we can have a successful city council meeting. So thank you for all you do. You are greatly, greatly appreciated. Are there any other comments that anybody would like to make at this time?
I'd like to echo the comments of the mayor. And a lot of times we have a lot of unsung heroes in city government, and I think the city clerk's office is one of those. When things go well, no one really notices until something isn't included in a packet, and we're talking about thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of things on a given year. So they're very responsive. Anytime that I send an email, I get a response back so quickly. I don't take that for granted because I know you get a lot of other emails and calls. So I, too, want to say you're unsung heroes behind the scenes making us look good. And I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Go ahead, sir. Give us your name and address for the record. We don't normally do this, but I'm going to let you chime in.
Well, at this point, I think I probably have some right to do it. My name's Ivan Weber, 1275 16th Street, West Des Moines. I spent 44 years representing cities, litigating for cities, including what, 12, 13 for this city? A good chunk. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you, it's not simply council packets.
Yeah.
It's not simply doing lots of extra work.
No.
Every city in this state would be in a disaster if it wasn't for a clerk. By the way, I've met some cities that didn't have good clerks, and they were disasters. You owe your functioning government, managers, city attorneys, they have other views. You owe your functioning government to city clerks. So.
Thanks, Ivan.
Appreciate it, Ivan. Yeah, appreciate that. Okay, any other discussion?
Didn't say it better.
Any other discussion at all at this time before we vote?
I second that. I work with Brian and Julie very closely. They do a great job.
Yeah, no doubt. Okay, anybody else? Okay, hearing no one, please vote.
Of course.
And yes, Ryan and Julius, you will be joining us down front for a picture, whether you like it or not.
Can we get it up here near this?
It's too hard. It's too hard.
5 yes.
I just like talking to you. I didn't want to go first, but it's kind of fun.
You took his chair.
Yeah. I don't think there's. Yeah, I actually.
Say it again. Motion to approve.
This is like Catholic Church right here. Up and down, up and down. Okay. Moving on, item 404. 404, it is a proclamation for Cinco de Mayo, May 5th, 2023. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Any discussion? Okay. Hearing none on this one, I'm going to read, and then I will have you vote. But I need my glasses. All right. Whereas the city of West Des Moines recognizes May 5th, or Cinco de Mayo, as a date of great significance to many Mexican Americans, and whereas Cinco de Mayo is a celebration of Mexican heritage and culture, commemorating the Mexican victory over the French by rounding up 2,000 troops of indigenous and mixed ancestry to win the Battle of Puebla on May 5th, 1862. Whereas this day is a time to honor the rich history and contributions of Mexican Americans in our community. Throughout West Des Moines history, the Mexican-American community has played a critical role in the development of historic Valley Junction. Serving as rail and cement workers, they helped build the railroad and make the cement that would be used to pave roads and sidewalks, ultimately further the vision of the historic Valley Junction. Whereas Cinco de Mayo is an opportunity for people of all backgrounds to come together, learn from one another, and appreciate the rich diversity within our communities by attending the annual Cinco de Mayo celebration on Saturday, May 6th, from 12 to 5 p.m. in Valley Junction, where I will once again read this proclamation. Now, therefore, I, Russ Trimble, Mayor of the City of West Des Moines, Iowa, do hereby proclaim May 5th, 2023 as Cinco de Mayo, and I call upon the residents of West Des Moines to come together and celebrate the history and contributions of Mexican Americans in our community. And with that, please vote, and we're going to get one last picture.
Five yes.
No, you might get in the picture. At the end, not right now.
Bring your fishing rod. Right here. I'll put it.
Can I do it because he didn't click it right away.
I think we're good on that one. You'll get the next one.
Who's it?
Sometimes the mic.
5 yes.
I don't feel like, what did it say? It's fun. No, I fished before. I don't feel like it.
You should know I have counsel. Okay, moving on. Item 5, old business. You guys ready to go? Okay, item 5, old business. Item 5A. Here, do you want to help me and read this? Okay, just read this part here, okay? And we'll use, yep, just read Stone Cross. Oop, just this part, Stone Cross.
Stone Cross Lawn and Landscape, 3410 Southeast 22nd Street. Amend this zoning map to rezone the property from Professional Commerce Park to Light Industrial Zoning District. Stone Cross Properties, LLC.
Perfect. Okay, we have got an ordinance for second reading, waiver of third reading, adoption of final form. There are no outstanding issues and no changes from the previous reading, which was adopted unanimously by the council. Can I get a motion to approve or consider the second reading?
Motion to consider a second reading.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
You can vote for me, though.
Okay, hearing none, please vote.
Good deal. Thank you.
Five yes. And
ordinance amending the official zoning map of the city of West Des Moines, Iowa, 2019 by amending Title 9, Zone, Chapter 4, zoning districts and maps.
Okay, does somebody want to move approval of the first reading?
Second.
Move approval of the second reading.
Or sorry, second reading. Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Please vote. Yeah.
5 yes.
Okay, somebody want to move waiver of the third reading and adoption in final form?
So move.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, please vote.
No, it just depends, but these I'm okay with. That's all.
All right, Chris. Chris, you can do it. It's your turn.
5 yes.
Item 5B, High Point, generally north and south of future Stagecoach Drive, extension between South 81st Street and the future extension of South 85th Street. Amend the zoning map to establish land use and zoning appropriate for single-family residential, medium-density residential, and high-density residential development.
High Point Group LLC. Okay, we have got, once again, an ordinance for approval of second reading, waiver of the third reading, adoption in final form. To consistency zone the property, there are no outstanding issues, and there's no change from the previous reading, which was adopted unanimously. Somebody want to move consideration of the second reading?
I move to consider second reading.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, please vote. Sorry, my mic wasn't on. Hearing none, please vote.
5 yes. An ordinance amending the official zoning map of the city of West Des Moines, Iowa, 2019 by amending Title 9, zoning Chapter 4, zoning districts and maps.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, please vote.
Motion to waive the third reading and adopt final form when it gives the results.
5 yes.
Okay, somebody want to make a motion to waive the third reading and adopt in final form?
Motion to waive third reading and adopt in final form.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, please vote. Okay, you're going to say item 5C after they're done item 5C.
5 yes.
Item 5C, Amendment Number 13 to the amended and restated Mills Parkway Urban Renewal Plan, City initiated.
Okay, we've got an ordinance for approval of third reading, adoption in final form to amend the Mill Civic Parkway Tax Increment Financing District. There are no outstanding issues, and there's no change from the previous reading. Can I get a motion to approve third reading and adoption in final form?
I move to consider the third reading.
Second.
Okay, is there any discussion? Okay, hearing none, please vote.
5 yes, an ordinance amending ordinance numbers 1384, 1560, 1740, 1800, 1824, 2014, 2072, 2314, 2427, and 2466, providing that general property taxes levied and collected each year on property located within the amended Mills Parkway urban renewal area in the city of West Des Moines be paid to a special fund for payment of principal and interest on loans, monies advanced to, and indebtedness, including bonds issued or to be issued incurred by the city in connection with the amended Mills Parkway urban renewal area.
Okay, can I get a motion to approve the third reading and final adoption?
I move to approve the third reading and adopt this in final form. Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Please vote.
Five yes.
Item 5D, authorizing $3,406,000 stormwater revenue capital loan notes.
Okay, we've got a resolution authorizing various components related to the issuance of Series 2023 Stormwater Revenue Capital Loan Notes in the amount of $3.4 million. There are no outstanding issues, and this was approved unanimously by Finance Administration at their subcommittee meeting on March 9th, 2022. Can I get a motion to approve the resolution?
Move approval.
Okay, it's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, please vote.
Five yes.
Okay, at this point in time, it's 6:35. We said we were going to cut the kids loose at that time so they can go home and make sure they do all their homework and continue to get great grades so they can come up here one day and be city council people, city attorneys, city managers, and city clerks, and you name it. So I have got some certificates of recognition, and I'm going to go up here. If City Manager Haddon and the council want to join me, we're going to recognize the students, and then we're going to send them on their way, and we're going to move on to the next item, which is public hearings.
Go down there.
Yeah, come on down here.
We're going to go down there.
Coming down for this, you had students?
Come on. Okay, Alex Lewis, who is the mayor, come on down. Thank you so much for helping me. I could not have done it without you. Really appreciate it. Okay.
You wanted a picture?
Yeah, we'll do, why don't we do like a group, we'll do a group picture afterwards, maybe, just to. Okay, Rita Musa. Okay, Rita, who had Rita? Who was Rita with?
Dick.
Who, Dick? I'll let you. Okay, Quentin Mallory. Who had Quentin?
I have fun.
All right, here you go, Councilman.
Thank you for a great job, man. Well done.
Okay, Coral Mathis. Councilman Hudson, your big certificate. Jace Edwards. Kenny? Yep. All right, Hadley Wagner. Who had Hadley? Mary Flick. Who had Mary? Councilwoman. Nate Rose. City Manager Rose. Okay. Zane West Dolick. Bryson McQueen's here. And then Bryson McQueen. All right, and we're going to get a group photo real quick here if you guys want to line up. Have the, you guys stand in front, and the council people and the city staff will all be behind. We'll get a real quick photo. We'll send you on your way for your homework. I know you're excited about that. Homework? I got to talk to your teacher about that.
tight.
And then Hannah. Okay.
You're welcome. It's always a great evening. Yep, you bet. It's always fun.
Thanks for having them here. It's our favorite day. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, Ross, I'm going to leave at 7. Hopefully.
Okay, moving on to item 6, public hearings. Item 6A, this is time and a place for a public hearing to consider 1625 Southeast County Line Road rezoning. 1625 Southeast County Line Road, amend the zoning map to establish general industrial zoning initiated by the city of West Des Moines. Ryan, would you please read the date the notice was published?
April 21st, 2023 in the Des Moines Register.
Have we received any written comments to this hearing?
The Planning and Zoning Commission, by a vote of 6 yes with 1 absent, adopted a resolution recommending approval of the rezoning request.
Okay, anybody from the audience who would like to address the council on item 6A, please come to the podium. Give us your name and address for the record. Anybody online, hit *6 to unmute yourself. Okay, going once, going twice. Hearing and seeing no one, I'm going to declare the public hearing closed. We've got an ordinance for approval of the first reading to consistency zone the property. There are no outstanding issues, and this was reviewed by the Development and Planning Subcommittee earlier this morning.
Move consideration of the first reading.
Okay, is there a second? Okay, it's moved and seconded. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, please vote.
5 yes, an ordinance amending the official zoning map of the city of West Des Moines, Iowa, 2019 by amending Title IX zoning, Chapter 4, zoning districts and maps.
Move approval of the first reading.
Second.
Okay, please vote.
5 yes.
Okay, item 6B. This is a time and a place for a public hearing to consider Fairway right-of-way vacation, vacate a portion of the right-of-way along the south side of Mill Civic Parkway adjacent to Lot 2 of the Fairway Development Plan, Plat 1, 9040 Mill Civic Parkway, initiated by Fairway Stores. Ryan, would you please read the date the notice was published?
April 14th, 2023 in the Des Moines Register.
And have received any written comments to this hearing?
The Planning and Zoning Commission, by a vote of 6 yes with 1 absent, adopted a resolution recommending approval of the vacation request.
Okay, anybody from the audience would like to address the council on item 6B, come to the podium, please, here. Give your name and address for the record. Anybody online, please hit *6 to unmute yourself and do the same. Okay, seeing and hearing no one, I'm going to declare the public hearing closed. We've got an ordinance for approval of the first reading to vacate the public right-of-way, and there are no outstanding issues.
Move consideration of the first reading.
Okay, is there a second? It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, please vote.
5 yes, an ordinance of the city of West Des Moines, Iowa, vacating approximately 9,306 square foot parcel generally located along the south side of Mill Civic Parkway, adjacent to Lot 2 of Fairway Development Plat 1.
Okay, can I get a motion for approval of the first reading?
Motion approved first reading.
Second.
Okay, please vote.
5 yes.
Okay, item 6C, this is a time and a place for a public hearing to consider ordinance amendment, amend Title III, Business and Licensing, Title VII, Public Ways and Property, Title IX, Zoning to modify regulations, terminology and definitions pertaining to alcohol service and consumption allowance aspects with establishments, initiated by the city of West Des Moines. Ryan, would you please read the date the notice was published?
April 18th, 2023 in the Des Moines Register.
And have we received any written comment to this hearing?
The Planning and Zoning Commission, by a vote of 6 yes with 1 absent, adopted a resolution recommending approval of the ordinance amendment.
Okay, anybody from the audience would like to address council on item 6C, please come to the podium, give us your name and address for the record. Anybody online, please hit *6 to unmute yourself. Okay, seeing and hearing no one, I'm going to declare the public hearing closed. We got an ordinance for approval, the first reading, amending the city code. There are no outstanding issues, and this was also reviewed by the Development and Planning Subcommittee earlier this morning.
Motion to consider first reading.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, please vote.
5 yes, an ordinance amending City Code of the City of West Des Moines, Iowa, 2019, Title III Business and Licensing, Title VII Public Ways and Property, and Title IX Zoning pertaining to establishments that serve and/or allow the consumption of alcohol.
Motion to approve first reading.
Second.
Second.
Okay, please vote.
5 yes.
Okay, item 6D, this is time and place for a public hearing to consider law enforcement center garage conversion and HVAC improvements. Ryan, would you please read the date the notice is published?
April 14th, 2023, in the Des Moines Register.
And have you received any written comment to this hearing?
None, Your Honor.
Okay, anybody from the audience who would like to address the council on item 6D, please come to the podium, give us your name, address for the record. Anybody online, hit star 6 to unmute yourself. Okay, seeing not a creature moving, including a mouse, I will declare the public hearing closed. And we have got two resolutions and a motion which we can take at the same time, and there are no outstanding.
So move.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? We're making up for lost time. Okay, hearing none, please vote.
Five yes.
Item 6E, this is the time and the place for a public hearing to consider Recplex operational improvements initiated by the City of West Des Moines. Ryan, would you please read the date the notice is published?
April 14th, 2023, in the Des Moines Register.
And have we received any written comments to this hearing?
None, Your Honor.
Okay, anybody from the audience who would like to address the council on item 6E, please come to the podium, give us your name and address for the record. Anybody online, please hit star 6 to unmute yourself. Okay, going once, going twice. I will declare the public hearing closed. We've got two resolutions and a motion which we can take together. We've got a resolution adopting plans, specifications, form of contract, and estimate of cost. We've got a motion receiving and filing reported bids, and we've got a resolution rejecting all the bids.
So moved.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, please vote.
Five yes.
Item 6F, this is the time and the place for a public hearing to consider Valley Junction Business District pavers and sidewalks, Phase 3. Ryan, would you please read the date the notice is published?
April 14th, 2023, in the Des Moines Register.
And have received any written comments to this hearing?
None, Your Honor.
Okay, anybody from the audience who would like to address the council on item 6F, please come to the podium, give us your name and address for the record. Anybody online, hit star 6 to unmute yourself. Okay, once again, seeing and hearing no one, I'll declare the public hearing closed. We've again got two resolutions and a motion which we can take at the same time, and there are no outstanding issues.
So move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, please vote.
Five yes.
Okay, item 6G, this is the time and the place for a public hearing to consider the 2023 asphalt trail renovation project initiated by the City of West Des Moines. Ryan, would you please read the date the notice was published?
April 14th, 2023, in the Des Moines Register.
And have you received any written comments to this hearing?
None, Your Honor.
Okay, anybody from the audience who would like to address the council on item 6G, please come to the podium, give us your name and address for the record. Anybody online, hit star 6, unmute yourself, and do the same thing. Okay, seeing and hearing no one, I'll declare the public hearing closed. We've again got two resolutions and a motion we can take at the same time, and there are no outstanding issues.
Move approval.
Okay, is there a second? It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, please vote.
Five yes.
Okay, item 7, new business. Item 7A, Pavilion Park Phase 1, revised preliminary plat south of EP True Parkway and Napoli Avenue. Approve a revised preliminary plat to create 54 lots for single-family residential development, 3 outlots and 1 street lot. Pavilion Park LC. We've got a resolution for approval of revised preliminary plat. There are no outstanding issues, but there are 4 conditions of approval, including a waiver being granted for a public utility easement in the front yard of lots 40 through 50. The applicant building a secondary access to Venice Avenue from EP True that is approved by the fire marshal prior to the issuance of building permits. The applicant building a gravel extension from EP True Parkway to Wendover Lane, capable of holding 75,000 pounds and constantly maintaining it. And the applicant acknowledging that the final plat is to be approved by the city council before occupancy permits are issued. Can I get approval of the resolution?
Motion to approve.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Okay, is there anybody from the audience who would like to address the council on this item? Anybody online, hit star 6 to unmute yourself. Okay, hearing none, please vote.
5 yes.
Okay, item 7B, Jordan Creek Point, Lot 2, 6840 and 6880 EP True Parkway. Approved site plan to allow construction of 2 70,000 square foot retail buildings, Jordan Creek Point LLC. We've got a resolution for approval of the site plan. There are no outstanding issues, and this was approved unanimously by Planning and Zoning and was reviewed earlier this morning by Development and Planning. Can I get a motion to approve the resolution?
So moved.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none. Is there anybody in the audience who would like to address the council on this item? Or online? Okay, hearing no one, please vote.
5 yes.
Okay, item 7C, Microsoft DSM 15, 1475 Southeast Moffett Lake Road, approved major modification to site plan to allow construction of approximately 245,000 square foot data center building initiated by Microsoft Corporation. We've got a resolution for approval of the major modification to the site plan. There are no outstanding issues, but there are 3 conditions of approval involving landscape buffer plantings, waiver of a parking lot requirement due to security concerns, and the council allowing for gravel to be implemented around industrial buildings. This was approved unanimously by Planning and Zoning, as well as the Development and Planning City Subcommittee. Can I get a motion to approve the resolution?
So moved.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Okay, anybody in the audience or online that would like to address the council on this item? If you're online, hit star 6 to unmute yourself. Okay, seeing and hearing no one, please vote.
Five yes.
Okay, item 7D, we've got a motion and a resolution which we can take together. We have a motion receiving report of bids and a resolution directing the sale of $13.17 million in general obligation bonds to the successful bidder, and there are no outstanding issues.
Motion to approve.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Okay, and hold on a second. We have a representative from PFM that would like to address the council on this issue.
Yes, good evening.
Hello.
So I have people flying everywhere.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, you are in order.
All right, thank you. So took bids on 4 different series of bonds. I'm going to quickly review the results of all 4 sales, and then you can do your procedural approvals. The first series is the 2023A. It's the 10-year GO tax-exempt CIP bonds paid for by the debt service levy. As you recall, last year we did this as a private placement. This year we decided to go back into the market. It was definitely advantageous to do so. 12 bids were received, which is a tremendous number. Our goal with the competitive sale is 3 bids. Got 12 bids today from 51 different banks, with the true interest cost ranging from 2.57% to 2.94%. So still a lot of volatility, a wide range of opinions on what the bond should price at. But 2.57, definitely a good rate. That's actually lower than the private placement we did last year. Winning bid came from Fifth Third Securities out of Cincinnati, Ohio at 2.5743%, with the second place bidder, BOK, that's Bank of Oklahoma, out of Dallas, Texas, and they were at 2.57, so just less than 1 basis point spread between the winner and the second place, and actually the first 7 bids were all within 1 basis point of each other. So definitely a lot of competition to win the city's AAA rated bonds today. And we did also seek private placement bids just to double check. The estimate back in February was 3.67%, which I felt was way too high. So we went back to the market, and that saved taxpayers $702,000 today by making that decision to do so.
Wow, thank you for that.
Excellent.
Really appreciate it.
So we took advantage of it last year when the market was moving and the banks were not increasing their rates as much. And this year we took advantage of the market, who has not moved, is just staying low because volume is down. So always double checking and working hard for the city and the taxpayers. So the B series. The B series, this is a 20-year taxable series, also paid for by the debt service levy. We received 7 bids from 49 different banks. Taxable rates are much higher than the tax exempt rates. Those spreads are very wide right now. So 4.7% to 4.98, but still better than where we were last year when we did the last taxable series. The winner today for the B series is Piper Sandler at 4.7082%. And the cover was Raymond James at 4.7099%. So just that 1 basis point spread between the winner and the second place today. I don't know if there's any questions. I'm going to roll through these pretty quick. So, if there's
Any questions for Suzanne at all? Anything?
Okay.
Nope. Okay.
So that was, okay. So that was the 9:30 sale. We did a second sale at 10:30. We did the 2023 C, which is a 14-year tax-exempt urban renewal bonds for Ginger West. 13 bids from 52 banks. This was the largest showing we saw today, 13 bids. TIC ranging from 3.07% to 3.34. Again, this is a 14-year, so a little bit longer term. The winning bid came from Hilltop Securities at 3.07%, and the cover bid was from KeyBank at 3.08. Again, just 1 basis point spread between the winner and the second place. And pricing was excellent today. I forgot to mention on the A bonds, just 8 basis points over the scale. So you were literally setting the scale today for your first 10 years, and then just 23 basis points over the scale today for the 14-year deal. And lastly, it's the 23D series. This is an 8-year taxable deal. This is a taxable incentive related to the Ginger West project. 7 bids from 41 different banks, with the true interest cost ranging from 4.13% to 4.83%. And the winner today was Northland. And I just wanted to point out there were 4 different winners today, which is also good news for the city. That means people had the chance. They got the 9:30 bids. If they didn't win, they got to sharpen the pencil, come back for 10:30. So we got 4 different winners today, which is why we choose a competitive bond sale method as well. And yeah, so very pleased with the showing today. A lot of bids, a lot of banks bidding today, and advantageous pricing for the city of West Des Moines.
Awesome. Suzanne, thank you so much for all you do for us. We really appreciate our partnership with PFM. So thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, any questions for Suzanne before she leaves? Okay. Hearing none. Okay, Ivan. Go ahead. You're very versatile.'re all over the place, from clerks to dogs to.
I note that you have, we're getting about $58,900 of bonds issued, notes issued today. That includes one in an earlier set. I'm just curious where that puts us in regard to the constitutional debt limit.
The city is at, that's a good question.
Somehow I feel we're in good shape.
58%.
It's way low.
I think
Oh,
58%.
wonderful. That's why you have your AAA. Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And the other question I had was, I noted that put in your glasses and you get the question. That the C series is part of a larger authorization of $91 million. I was just curious what's left of that.
There's 1 series left, I think, for Ginger West, around $20-ish million
Okay.
to finalize all the infrastructure for Ginger West that's planned for 24 in the model right now.
Okay. That was it.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. And I would just tell you, too, over the years that I've been on the council, and Councilman Omar and Councilman Sandegger, who I'm not sure is still here. Oh, there he is.
There they are.
You know, we refinanced a number of these bonds and avoided like $13 million in cost. I've lost track of how much with some of the additional ones, but we were at like $13 million last time I checked. So, Councilman Lotz, you had a comment?
No, I just wanted to say I want to thank Mayor Trimble and Councilman Hudson on F&A for doing such a good job managing the city's finances. I mean, it takes all of us up here, but this group with the help of PFM, it's on everybody's radar. And so the debt limit's a great question. Director Stiles, you know what it is off the top of your head? I want to guess it's somewhere about 35% of what our total is.
Yes, Suzanne said.
Oh, she said, okay, I missed it.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, and kudos back to you as a member of the Finance Administration Subcommittee with Councilman Hudson, too, so.
We pay attention to it.
And Mayor, I'm glad you mentioned past members of the council, because I think that's really, really important to understand that we always stand on the shoulders of decisions that were made by quality individuals who sat up here before, because it's history, and it's a good history, so.
No doubt. Thank you. Okay, any other discussion before we vote? Okay, hearing none, please vote.
Five yes.
Okay, item 7E, issuance of $17.2 million in taxable general obligation urban renewal bonds, Series 2023B. Again, we've got a motion and a resolution which we can take together. We have a motion receiving reported bids and a resolution directing the sale of $17.2 million taxable general obligation urban renewal bonds to the successful bidder. There are no outstanding issues, and this did come through Finance Administration with unanimous recommendation.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none, please vote, but let me ask anybody from the audience. Okay, Ivan's sitting there, he's not moving. All right. Anybody else? No? Okay, please vote.
Five yes.
Just want to make sure we give everyone a chance to speak. One time I jumped the gun and we had somebody very upset with me, so. Okay, item 7F, issuance of $20.33 million in general obligation urban renewal bonds, Series 2023C. We got a motion and a resolution, which again, we can take at the same time. We've got a motion receiving the reported bids and a resolution directing the sale of $20.33 million in general obligation urban renewal bonds to the successful bidder. This also came through Finance Administration with unanimous recommendation.
Motion for approval.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Anybody from the audience who'd like to address the council on this item? Or anybody online, hit *6 to unmute yourself. Okay, seeing and hearing no one, please vote.
Five yes.
Okay, item 7G, the issuance of $4.885 million in taxable general obligation urban renewal bonds, Series 2023D. And again, we've got a motion and resolutions which we can take at the same time. We have a motion receiving the reported bids and a resolution directing the sale of $4.855 million in taxable general obligation urban renewal bonds to the successful bidder, and this also came through F&A.
Mr. Mayor, do you want to hear discussion first, or do you want to go right to the?
Please.
You gotta have a motion.
Please make a motion.
Approval.
Motion,
Okay.
okay, it's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Okay, discussion. Yes, sir.
I'm good.
Oh, you don't have anything?
I just wanted to see if you
After all
wanted to
that?
have folks discuss
all
first
right.
before we
Okay.
made the resolution. That was just my question.
Okay, keeping me on my toes. Anybody from the audience would like to address the council on this item, or anybody online that wants to hit *6 and give us their name and address for the record? Okay, seeing no one, please vote.
Five yes.
Okay. Item 7H, we've got approval to initiate a development agreement between Innovative Injection Technologies, or I2 Tech, and the City of West Des Moines, and the creation of an urban renewal plan. And this one, we're going to do differently. I will first ask for anybody from the audience that would like to address the council on this item.
Good evening. My name is Kelly Pierce. I reside at 275 South 87th Street in West Des Moines. I am the president of the West Des Moines Historical Society Board of Directors.
Good evening. I'm Gail Brubaker. I work at 2001 Fuller Road in West Des Moines, which is the historic Jordan House Museum. I am the executive director, and we want to thank you, Mayor, City Council, city staff, for allowing us this opportunity to share our organization's perspective on the potential development of the property next to the Jordan House at 2001 Fuller Road. As you hopefully know, the Jordan House, built in 1850, is one of West Des Moines' most prized historical treasures. The 16-room house, which was placed on the National Register of Historic Landmarks in 1973, serves as the focal point to share our rich West Des Moines history, and also serves to tell more fully the stories of the fight for equality in our community. As you may be aware, James Jordan, an influential business and civic leader at the time, was instrumental in both bringing the railroad and hundreds of jobs to our area and relocating the state capital from Iowa City to Des Moines. He was also a very active abolitionist and was known as the chief conductor for the Underground Railroad in our community, providing a frequent safe haven on his land for freedom seekers who were trying to reach Canada. The Jordan House is an important and official stop on the Underground Railroad and is recognized as part of the National Park Service's Network to Freedom. Much like James Jordan, our board of directors are very supportive of West Des Moines' economic efforts to create new employment opportunities for our area. We believe that sharing our history with residents, potential residents, and visitors creates a deeper personal understanding of West Des Moines and makes us a more attractive community. As a result, it also increases our civic pride, sense of belonging, and our connectedness to the city.
At this point, only having seen preliminary advanced renderings of the potential redevelopment proposed for the 28 acres adjacent to our property and to the Jordan House, we just have some concerns on how this development would impact the character of the area, the traffic flow, noise, lighting, water runoff. We also have concerns over rezoning of the land, potential rezoning to light industrial and multi-family housing, how this would adversely affect the development density that's appropriate for the surrounding area. And as you can imagine, all of this could potentially have a negative impact on our property and our ability to continue to tell the important story of West Des Moines history. We realize that the item you're discussing this evening concerns an endorsement of an Iowa high-quality jobs application to secure tax credits, and also understand that any future construction on this property will require a zoning change and review by the City Planning Commission. Potential changes to the comprehensive plan for the city, as well as the creation of an urban revitalization district and eventual approval by this governing body. We are concerned of the impact of this potential development. So we would like the council to consider adding any language to the resolution that includes a stipulation indicating that the project is contingent on rezoning by the Planning and Zoning Commission, followed by an approval from West Des Moines City Council. We thank you for the opportunity to share our perspective with you tonight. We feel as a board that this historic land in West Des Moines has far greater purpose and potential to add to the quality of life in West Des Moines than building a warehouse on it. We'd like the opportunity to continue on our path to shape the vision of this land, remaining untouched other than the camp properties that have been added. Councilmember Hudson just mentioned standing on the shoulders of those who came before. We might not even be here today if it wasn't for that land and for James Jordan. So we'd like the opportunity to continue to talk about possibilities for developing this in a way that pays tribute to that history and adds to the potential to improve the quality of life and create even more of a destination in that area in West Des Moines.
Okay, I appreciate it, and I hate to cut you off, but your 5 minutes is up. So thank you guys for presenting. I will just let you know that, while I didn't say it, this is contingent upon approval of the development agreement, or I'm sorry, it's contingent upon the comprehensive plan amendment and zoning code amendment to allow construction of the project on the proposed site, and that is noted in the packet. So, okay, anybody else who'd like to address the council on this item? You doing, Karen?
Good evening. My name is Karen Worth. I live at 2449 Jordan Trail, which is in the Grand Oaks neighborhood directly to the north across Grand Avenue from the property. I'm just, besides, I'm here really to represent my neighborhood. I think the majority of my neighbors feel the same way, and not only objecting to the noise that might be created, but the extra traffic. And also the safety. There are so many people that bike and walk, families and kids that use from west of me, but going down across Grand Avenue on the sidewalk heading to the bike trail that leads over to Raccoon River Valley. And I worry about the park, Raccoon Valley Park. I worry about their safety too with the added traffic and trucks that might be involved in an industrial area. I just think, having it as a green space, it just destroys the integrity of the area to add an industrial warehouse to that corner. I think that's it.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing. Appreciate it. Okay, anybody else who would like to address the council on this item? Please come up to the podium, give us your name and address for the record. Okay, Richard.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, Richard Hurd, Hurd Real Estate, 2000 Fuller Road, which is located directly across the street from the Jordan House. We've been there since the early 2000s, and as you know, we're in the development business, and we generally support new development. And we are, for the record, have no economic interest in this project one way or another. It's just a matter of civic duty, I think. The I2 Tech is a great company. I think they're a benefit and asset for the city of West Des Moines, no doubt. The issue here is just where the expansion is proposed to be. I mean, it just is inappropriate to put a 50,000 square foot warehouse in between the corner of Grand and Fuller in the Jordan House. We've been down this road. We tried to work on this site, and this, the city staff said absolutely no zoning north of Fuller, of a commercial context in any way, shape, or form. And the bottom line on it is that the city should help I2 Tech expand. But there's got to be a better solution than what is being proposed here. I think that if you go forward with this project in 5 years, you'll look back and be really sorry that you made the wrong decision, because once it's built, it's not going to go away. And that is just too important to the history of West Des Moines to have that area not preserved in a appropriate way to develop one of three historic features that we have. We have Valley Junction, we have the Bennett Schoolhouse, and we have the Jordan House. That's really all we have. So my point is, I hope that you step back and take a longer view, think about this, and make the right decision to, help get us on the right track for development on this particular parcel. Thank you.
Thanks, Richard.
Thank you, Richard. Appreciate it. Okay, anybody else?
Hi there. My name is Chris Frederick. I live at 2425 Jordan Trail in the Grand Oaks neighborhood as well. I sent an email to you. You may have read it, so I won't reiterate what I said in the email, except for a little bit. The site there, as these people have said, is a unique site. It's one of the few places left in kind of the center of West Des Moines that has open space left. There's a group of concerned neighbors that have joined together and put forward a proposal to buy the site. That was before we realized that I2 Tech had purchased the site. We were planning on basically donating it to the city and to create an arboretum there that we could link together with the Jordan House historical site. I hope you would think about that and what that would bring to that whole area. We've got the bridge going in over the Raccoon River to Walnut Woods, right? Not Walnut Hills, Walnut Woods. So Walnut Woods would be connected to Raccoon River, would be connected to this arboretum in the Jordan House. You'd have this long trail of just fantastic park system right here in West Des Moines, right in the middle of West Des Moines. So that's all I wanted to bring up, is just the fact that that would be, like Mr. Hurd said, destroying a site that could bring so much to West Des Moines, the historical site as well as the natural beauty of that area.
Sure. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Okay, anybody else who would like to address the council on this item? Okay, please give us your name and address for the record.
Yeah, my name's Chris Kelly. I'm at 2440 Jordan Trail, again in the Grand Oaks neighborhood. Just here to kind of reiterate everything that they've said. I've got a bunch of young kids, and we like to ride our bikes all around there. And I am against for the large warehouse to be there. Anti-big semis driving through there, increased traffic, trying to get to the bike trails, biking to the Dairy Queen with the kids, in the summer. I think we would, when we first moved in, we would hope that would change into a nice green space that we could all use on a daily or weekly basis. So, again, I've emailed all of you, so I know you've heard from me, so that's about all I have to say.
Thank you so much for sharing. Appreciate it. Okay, anybody else that would like to address the council? Okay, Ed.
Ed Arp, 3385 Cumming Road. I don't live in West Des Moines anymore,
We know, Ed.
but I did for 30 years. Raised 3 kids, successful adults now, and all 3 of them went to field trips at Jordan House, and I ended up being a chaperone every time for some reason. So I always appreciated Jordan House because of that. A few years ago, I helped the Historical Society acquire the 3 acres that they just purchased with the help of you all. And I found out things that I didn't realize. When you start looking through land records and things like that, when we do platting, we find out things. That's an amazing piece of ground. I'm not talking about just the house, but the whole property. My top 10 reasons you guys all received from me, those are all facts. And I guess I would say I don't know of too many other locations in the whole metro that have a history like that. So that's really astounding to me. You don't find very many locations like that. There's not a piece of ground like that anywhere else, particularly in Polk County. So with that, I just wanted to iterate, it's not so much the Jordan House that we're talking about, it's the actual piece of property. The original property that he owned and maintained. He actually platted Valley Junction, brought the railroad here. There's a lot of history there, and it seems like the city should think about honoring that and making that a feature of not only the Jordan Greenbelt, but the city in general. That's all I've got, but I think it's an important thing to stand up for.
Thank you so much, Ed. Appreciate it. Okay, anybody else that would like to address the council on this item?
I'm going to say something.
All right.
No, you go first.
All right, Gary or Luis, who's coming?
everybody.
Luis, good to see you.
Gary Leffler, 1235 West Des Moines, 11th Street. I've been the caretaker of the camp for the last 8 years with the church and been an integral part of maintaining the property. I think I know the property probably as well or better than most people. For the most part, it's been me and a couple guys from our church. We've done it without pay. We've done it to help keep, I think when we first came, on a fairly regular basis, they got letters from the city of Des Moines. The property wasn't kept up as far as I know under my tenure. We never got one letter from the city. We took great pride in taking care of the camp. My question is this, the building of the warehouse, I know that in talking with the people at the Jordan House, they have plans to relocate a school there. They have plans to relocate a log cabin there and try to recreate a section of history that for the most part is gone. You can't hardly find an entity that has all of those pieces of that same puzzle there. My concern is this, I enjoy being out there. It's no secret. I enjoy watching the sun come up, and a lot of times I'm out there when the sun goes down. My question is this, if you build a warehouse there, will the sun go down on the Jordan House? Will that warehouse block that view coming from the west? As you have, I'm the owner of the Patriotic Tractor when they have naturalization services over at the Jordan House. We take it over there so when the people are saying their oath and when they're becoming citizens of the United States, it's been a real treat and a real privilege to watch people go over there and take their oath to become United States citizens. It's also, so the Jordan House has been part of our past, but because of what they do in inaugurating citizens and everything else, they're an integral part of not only today, but our future. And I would challenge all the city council members to go down there when they're watching these people and watch the pride and the joy of these people as they take that oath to become a United States citizen. It just makes you, we take it for granted because we are United States citizens. But to see those people come and to see the joy and see, and I know that in working with the Jordan House people, they've got some goals there where we can work within the framework of what is required of a historical site so that we can make a better representation for those people that want to come to America and they want to become United States citizens. So my big question is this, and you know, I'm just concerned that with the building of a warehouse, the sun will no longer set on the Jordan House or its property.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Gary. Okay, Louise, were you gonna? Okay, Councilman Sandager.
Good evening. Thank you for allowing me to say a few words. I'm Jim Sandager. I live at 7167 El Dorado Point in West Des Moines. I had the pleasure of sitting in your seats for the last, well, not the last 16 years, but for 16 years. And I also had the honor to serve on the Bravo Greater Des Moines board for a number of years, of which I was president for 2. For a moment about Bravo. Bravo funds arts, culture, and heritage in our metro region for 17 member organizations, which are cities. And we fund, you might wonder, heritage. That's an odd thing. I mean, we go to the Civic Center, we go to the ballet, we go to the opera, we go to, see different shows. But why heritage? That's because heritage is a part of who we are. It's a part of what we're about. It's what you build on. You can't know where you're going if you don't know where you've been. You know, it's easy in a fast-growing community like West Des Moines. It's a great community. It's a great place to serve as a council member. It's an honor to serve as a council member here. It's easy to see our bright and shiny growing city and to be proud. I'm proud of it. New businesses, new residents, new jobs, new restaurants, new shopping, new excitement just around every corner, it seems. Just as important is to know our past. The growth we're experiencing today has been the result of past mayors, past council members, past residents, past city staff, past leaders of this great city we have today. I have a slight variation. It's the sentiment of Greg, and has been repeated already. We stand on the shoulders of giants. If you're able to be where you are today on the dais, you're standing on the shoulders of previous visionary leaders who thought ahead, who planned, who were strong leaders, conviction, men and women. Great conviction, these men and women. James Jordan was the beginner of this. Our heritage is begun with a strong leader. 170 years ago, he homesteaded this property. 130 years ago, we became a city. 40 years before we were a city, this was that property. This is that property. This is our property. This is the city of West Des Moines property. It's a part of our history. We have so little of it. We have plenty of other ground, but we have so little of this. It's a shame that, frankly, we have so little. And I think it's a treasure, what we do have, and to protect it at all costs is vital, in my opinion. One comment. I have listened to several recordings of different meetings about this topic because, well, I have. And one of the things that was brought up was the financial impact. I'm telling you nothing new. Our city operating budget is $110 million. The staff costs of the city is 60 to, I'm a finance guy, for those that don't know this, sorry. I default to numbers.
Numbers guy.
Numbers guy.
Numbers guy. 60 to 70% of our cost is personnel, $70 million. Our increase alone last year in raises, just raises alone for city staff, was about $2.5 million. Once it comes off the tax rolls, and by the way, I think it's a great company too, Josh. You don't know me from the man on the moon, but great company. Proud to have you in West Des Moines. My only contention is where the expansion is being located, so please bear that in mind. The cost of raises, just raises, was about $2.5 million. Once this comes out of urban renewal, the revenue we'll receive will be about $240,000. It's not even 10% of the raises we're going to have. So while we want to be judicious and wise and expand? Of course we do. No question about that. At what cost? And to me, this is too great a cost. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Appreciate it. Okay,
Ready?
come on up.
Okay, I'm coming. I've never done this before. I've always been in the background. I'm a Louise Gately, and I don't live in West Des Moines anymore, but I did for a really long time.
Killing me.
And I wrote this book about James Jordan, which many of you have referred to. And it took me from 1980, when I started with Vicki Baker, and with the West Des Moines Historical Society. I was on the board for 25 years. And I started writing the book when I started with Vicki, and we finally published it on the 125th anniversary of West Des Moines. People ask me, why did I write this book? I wrote this book because nobody else had written it, and I learned a lot. I learned a lot about James Jordan, and then they say, well, what was the best part of writing this book? And the best part of writing this book was because I wrote about a man who was fabulous. He had the best integrity. He did so many wonderful things. He brought the capital to Des Moines, Iowa. He was on the first city council of the city of Des Moines. He did so many things. And we know about the railroad. We know about all of this stuff. Valley Junction. We are here, as everybody said that spoke, because of this man. And I think that we need to respect him. I think the city of West Des Moines needs to respect James Jordan. There are people here who are businessmen, teachers, people who are historians, maybe, whatever. I think you can appreciate how we need to respect the past in order to move forward and bring the people in our community, especially our young people, into understanding why we need to respect somebody that gave so much of himself to our community, not just West Des Moines, but the city of Des Moines, the greater Des Moines community, the state of Iowa, and the United States of America. Think about this. And we're worried about, what, a few acres in the middle of this place, which was his almost holy ground, because that's where he started this. He was one of the very first settlers to come in the mid-1840s to this area. Why? What are we doing? Why are we even discussing it? And we've been discussing it too long. It's time that we got behind this property and honored it and honored the man who settled it. And that's what I have to say. If you have any questions, listen, I know all about this guy. Too much. I feel like, sometimes I was married, but no, I was married to somebody else. But anyway.
Thank you, Louise. Appreciate it.
Thank you for all of your support, all of you, because I really appreciate it. It really, really, really touches my heart. Please think about doing the right thing with this property.
Thank you so much. Okay, anybody else that would like to address the council?
I wanted to, but I'm not following that.
All right, Josh, you've been waiting patiently.
Good evening, everyone.
You've been waiting patiently.
My name is Josh Janesco. I live at 1753 Glenlevin Terrace. I also own I2 Tech located at 2360 Grand Avenue. We're a custom injection molder. We make complex plastic components for various large equipment manufacturers, including John Deere, Ford, GM, DZ, Kawasaki, along with several other prestigious customers. We've operated 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, with approximately 300 employees consisting of 245 full-time employees and an additional 55 contract employees. I'm here tonight asking the council to again help I2 Tech expand our operations by approving the two resolutions before you. This would be our fourth development agreement between our companies, our company and the city, with the three previous being in 2003, 2016, and most recently 2021. These agreements were critical to our success by helping mitigate some of the risks we face in growing our company. Since 2016, our total sales revenue has increased 127% from $31.8 million to $72.4 million in 2022. During that same period, our total employment increased from 149 employees to 245, an increase of 64%. Just under $25 million of new capital investment was placed in West Des Moines, increasing our annual property taxes from $105,000 to $260,000, which is an increase of 147%. We continue to see new opportunities for growth, including recent awards for new tooling from Harley-Davidson, Yamaha, Donaldson, and Caterpillar. Business has been good. And that's due in no small part to the relationship my company has with this city. It's been an exceptional experience. I'm very proud to be doing business in West Des Moines. I live here. My kids go to school here. I plan to be here for a long time. So this past January, I decided to purchase the former Nazarene camp from the Walnut Creek Church with the intention to develop this property to support our growing business. Our main campus is landlocked. We have maxed out our usable space to expand, and I would like to build approximately 60,000 square feet warehouse, which would enable us to continue to grow to 100 million in sales and 300 employees. The church camp is across the street from our main campus, as all you know. I've been the owner of this company for 20 years, and I've watched the property fall apart. I've witnessed the police incidents, the vandalism, the illegal dumping, which recently caused a fire along the creek. I toured the property with the West Des Moines Police, who assisted me with the homeless people who decided to make 3 of the cabins their personal residence. I want to clean this up. I want to continue to grow my company, and I want to create a sustainable economic future for my neighborhood. What we have now is not acceptable to me, and I'm extremely motivated and determined to make it better, which is why I'm asking you to vote yes on these resolutions so we can begin that process. I'm committing my time and resources to make a mark on this community, and based on that recommendation of the Director of Economic Development and the Finance and Administration Committee, I'm ready to move forward. So I know I may be running short on time, but those were my prepared remarks, and I just want to take this opportunity to, first of all, I mean, it was a great presentation. I'm honored to now own this property. So I certainly didn't bring my team. I mean, I certainly didn't plan on talking about zoning and lighting and traffic and all the things that are part of the planning and zoning process. Tonight is about a resolution to begin that process, and there are incentives that have worked in the past. This is my 4th opportunity, and they work. And I take a tremendous amount of risk to buy this property. I take this opportunity very seriously. I will admit and be vulnerable that I'm not a historian. I'm 46 years old. I'm not going anywhere. I'm the next generation. My mother is part of the Historical Society. She's got a great viewpoint on this project, and we take this opportunity with honor. And I hope that you'll allow me the opportunity to go through our plan and we can come to a solution. I certainly have tried to reach out to the Historical Society. I wrote letters to 25 of you around the community on Grand Oaks. Some of you reached back, some of you did not. I reached out to your son, I've reached out to you, I've tried to set up a meeting. I don't know why you don't want to meet with me to talk about this. Some of the comments that you made, regarding noise and safety, this fact that staff said no zoning, that's not appropriate. The council, you determine zoning. This is not a zoning meeting. This is just an economic incentive meeting to start the process to rezone. That's the part that's most disappointing to me, is that this is the first plan. This property is distressed. I encourage to take all of you on a tour. I did, except for you, Renee. I'd love to do that sometime to get a better understanding of what my vision is. And so if there's any nervousness in my voice, it's because I really have tried to do things the right way, and that's where I'll wrap up my conversation, is this is part of the process. This is just the incentive to kick things off. I'd love to engage the community and the people who have the most history of this project, but at the end of the day, I stepped up, I bought the property. I'd like to make great changes, and I'd like to involve the city, I'd like to involve the community, I'd like to involve anyone else who's interested in my property. So,
Okay.
Thank you for your time. Thank you.
Appreciate it, Josh. Anybody else that would like to address the council on this item? Anybody online? Hit *6 to unmute yourself. Anybody online? Anybody else in the chamber? Okay, well, people passionate on both sides. We've got definitely amazing land, no doubt about it, and we've got an amazing company. And I really appreciate I2 Tech and Josh and his family and what they do for jobs and the economy here. We've worked with them on a number of other projects, and I am very proud to have I2 Tech here in our community. And I'm also very proud of the Jordan House and this site. So, you know, this is where not having a vote I'm lucky, right? So very difficult decision here for the council, I'm sure. So we have got a resolution for approval of a development agreement for the creation of a new urban renewal plan between the City of West Des Moines and I2 Tech, contingent upon the review and approval by the City Council of a comprehensive plan amendment and zoning code amendment to allow construction of the project on the proposed site. So I will ask, is there a motion to approve the resolution?
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution.
Okay, it's been moved. Is there a second?
I second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion?
I have prepared comments, Your Honor.
Okay. And you know what? Let me do one thing, if I may. I know Councilman Trevilian has to leave
That's all right.
shortly, so are you okay?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, Councilman Lotz.
Be brief. Thank you to everyone who came out tonight to share their thoughts on items 7H and 7I. I'm only going to make these comments, but I appreciate the engagement. I appreciate the passion that people have for this property. I appreciate the dozens of messages and phone calls that everybody's made over the past week or so. I appreciate the passion people have for the Historical Society and the Jordan House, as well as the historic cemetery that's there, Oak Hill. I moved to West Des Moines 26 years ago. I've driven past this property hundreds of times. Since I've been here, I don't remember a time it hasn't been blighted. I don't remember it. I don't remember there ever being a church camp there, anything. Let me share some facts that I know about this property that I've researched on my own. There are 15 buildings that the county assessor indicates are in poor or very poor condition. There are dozens of police calls to this property annually for a variety of incidents. A number of years ago, there was a meth lab bust. Recently, in the last year, there was a 15-year-old runaway who got stabbed, or at least stabbed himself. Nobody really knows what happened. The old shower building is littered with drug paraphernalia. There are 2 homeless folks that I'm aware of living in buildings until very recently. Councilman Trevilian and I on the Community Compliance Subcommittee, in the last year, we sent city officials to the property multiple times to clean up well over 200 tires that were on the property in a pile. We also asked the church on multiple occasions to board up the buildings and keep them boarded up. On 2 occasions, and I frequent Southwoods Park a lot, more than anybody in this room, I guarantee. On 2 occasions, I've personally called Westcom to have police and fire come investigate homeless folks who are starting campfires in Southwoods Park north of Grand Oaks. Today, this property provides 0 value to anyone. There's no property taxes being paid, and no one can tell me that in its current condition, it enhances the neighborhood in any way. As a council member, I was one of the people who authorized the city to purchase this property to turn it into an arboretum, right?
That's it.
To my knowledge, we attempted to do so on 2 separate occasions, both failed. I don't know why. I'm also aware of multiple private efforts over the years led by various citizens and developers to raise money for the Historical Society to build out an arboretum and a park that enhances the Jordan House and Oak Hill Cemetery. As of my conversations recently as today, those efforts have all failed as well. I don't know why. I can't explain it. This is the largest, most blighted property in our city, and it didn't happen yesterday or last week. It's been this way for 20 years. Standing on the shoulders of giants, it's been this way a long time. We can't let it remain this way, and I, for one, am willing to lead the charge to make positive change in this neighborhood. The steps proposed tonight are steps toward those changes, steps in a new direction. I understand why some people are opposed. I get it. However, in the absence of a different plan and the ability to execute upon a different plan, I find myself favorable to starting the proposed process tonight. What I'm voting to do tonight is exactly this: turn the most blighted property in our city into something more. Voting to bring jobs to our city and people who could work for a successful business. Voting to bring more property tax on the rolls that support roads, sewers, and infrastructure, and all the things that we all take for granted. I'm voting to reduce crime in this neighborhood. And I'm voting to enhance the surrounding area around the Jordan House and Historical Society into a park that connects Southwoods to Raccoon River. I'm voting for an improvement that will provide a better wildlife corridor for deer, birds, raccoons, and coyotes. This is the first step tonight of many left. There are comp plan changes that have to have, zoning changes, site plan approvals. All these items are steps that will allow us as a council and as a city to control the outcome. I would encourage everyone here to be engaged. Be engaged. Come to the next council meeting. Let's talk. I believe that there's a way that we can come out of this in a good way for all parties. Was I wouldn't be sitting here saying that. I believe we can thread the needle and win. I wouldn't be supporting, and I won't support anything that I feel might damage the historical society or the neighbors across the street. To the contrary, I believe this development, if done properly, will enhance and provide opportunity for change in a positive way. I will continue to pay very close attention to this process, and I'm hopeful we'll be able to find a solution that is better than the current situation. The status quo is not acceptable in my mind. This isn't the first time we've had to make controversial choices. In my short time on council, they seem to come up every few months. You may all remember me bludgeoning the food bank up here. I don't know how my peers will align tonight. These are difficult decisions that we have to make. Regardless of what happens, somebody's going to leave this meeting disappointed. It is what it is. What I know is that this property cannot remain as it is today. I'm confident in my peers and that they and I will make a prudent decision tonight, the best decision, regardless if they agree with my position or not. That's why there's 5 of us. I trust the judgment of this council, and I'm thankful to be part of it. Mayor Trimble, thank you for the opportunity to speak.
Thank you, Councilman. Appreciate it. Okay, Councilman Trevilian.
All right.
Hold on real quick, Kevin. Okay.
Thank you, Councilman. So are you for the warehouse then? I appreciate your passion. I just want to make sure I understand. You are for building
I'm
said
for
a park.
jobs. I'm for building a park. I'm for building a better plan than what's here.
Okay, including the warehouse?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm just asking for clarification.
Yeah, no.
Because I didn't quite understand that.
I2 Tech owns it today.
Okay.
If this doesn't, if I play this forward and we don't get a warehouse, and we don't get a park, we don't get any of that stuff, I think in 10 years, we're still in the same spot we're in with these buildings.
Okay. All right. Councilman Trevilian.
All right, Doug, you've been here in 20 years. I've been here my entire life, over 61 years. I do remember the Nazarene campgrounds being actively used when they were there. Okay, I disagree that it's a blighted area. Maybe if you go on to that private property, and it was private property when the church owned it, maybe if you go onto that private property, yes, you will see that some of the cabins are being occupied by homeless people. We've got homeless people all over the city. The tabernacle, is it in disrepair internally? Maybe so. From the exterior, when you drive by, I don't think that property looks any different now than it did about 20 years ago, other than, I don't know what, a dozen trees got cut down when there was going to be a gymnasium built there. Okay, that's really the only thing that's changed on that property. To say that it's a blighted area, I think is just totally wrong. The reason the city was not able to purchase that property as an arboretum is because Mr. Janesco was throwing more money at it to the church than what the city was able to. Okay, all the church wanted was to come out of that thing better than what they were going to on any other development or sale, I should say. So when Mr. Janesco came in and said, okay, I'll buy it, and $100,000 or $200,000 more than what the city had offered, the church said, okay, we'll take it. Okay, that's the only reason it failed. What I think needs to happen is, and Mr. Janesco said this when I went and toured his facility, is that if this doesn't move forward, he would sell it to the city. I say put your money where your mouth is. Sell it to the city. I think we can come up with the money that's needed to purchase it, make you whole. We did it for the Athene Bridge. We can do it for this. Okay, so let's put your money where your mouth is, sell it to the city, sell it to the residents of West Des Moines, and we will save that historic piece of West Des Moines that started the city of West Des Moines. Okay, it's the last piece that is there. that really is undeveloped. Let's save it. Do what you told me you would do.
Thank you, Councilman. Okay, anybody else?
No, you go ahead.
Okay, Councilman Hudson.
Sure. All right. Well, I just echoing the comments from everybody else. I really appreciate the passion. I really appreciate that folks came out to share their thoughts. I appreciate the emails. And just want to share the small history of the last couple of weeks. Because 2 weeks ago, we had a Finance Administration Subcommittee meeting. And one purpose of the subcommittee process is to ask questions, is to engage in the process, to find out more about the process, to find out more in a subcommittee scenario so that we can just learn more and ultimately ask the question, should this be discussed further? Does this warrant, well, what we're talking about tonight? We're talking about council action. This is the purpose of a subcommittee. There's only 2 people on the subcommittee, and that's deliberate because 3 would make a quorum, and that's just not what it's all about. It's a subcommittee. And so during this discussion, we had city staff was there, Mr. Janesko was there, Councilman Lotz was there, City Manager Haddon was there. And during this discussion, we specifically discussed this potential jobs application to the state of Iowa. And we also discussed the process, and it's a multi-pronged process. And if there's an Iowa jobs program, if there's an Iowa jobs application, that just means there has to be a development plan, a rezoning plan, and yes, the application process to the state and the rezoning, those are 2 separate timelines. Those are 2 separate processes. Yes, they are. During that meeting, I asked several times about a timeline. That was my big thing I wanted to get because in the subcommittee meetings, the purpose is to find out more about a timeline. Finding out about when is this happening? When is this happening? When is this happening? And I was informed that this process would be running parallel. And I'll say the word parallel like 7 more times, so just get ready for it. When we talk about a parallel process, that just means we're applying and then rezoning and applying, and we're sending these through things simultaneously. And that was my understanding. So both Councilman Lotz and I, we moved forward at that Finance Administration Subcommittee. There's no doubt about it. I know a lot of you listened to the meeting. Hopefully you listened to the part where we were talking about my understanding of a dual process, things running side by side. And where I am right now is that this property has a lot of problems. Now, I know my fellow council members might have a disagreement on terminology, but the cabins are a mess. Like there's a lot of stuff out there that's just a mess. And where I'm at is thinking about this over the last couple weeks. I think we as a community have been complacent about this property for far too long. All right, I know there are people who have put in work. Gary, I appreciate your story, I really do, because you're telling me the work that you've done historically over the many, many years, and I'm really, really grateful to hear that. But for far too long, we've been okay with just some cabins that are a mess, and that's for a number of different reasons. It is. And the goal here is not to blame, but I think we have been complacent about this for far too long. What I would like to see is folks get together. And if this puts a fire under the neighborhood, if this puts a fire under us as a council, under us as a city, if this is a call to actual action for the dream that many of you described, I mean, let it serve as that call. But right now, at this exact moment, this process is not parallel. Right now, this one step is ahead of this other step. Right now, I am missing critical information. And I have seen some preliminary plans. I have seen, I know that Mr. Janesko, you applied last week, and that process is being undertaken by the city staff right now. But right now, the application process that we have tonight is way up here, and zoning, rezoning, and other development discussions are way back here. I asked the city staff, how long is it going to take to get a recommendation about zoning and rezoning and the development process? They say 4 to 6 weeks. Which means this application process right now is 4 to 6 weeks ahead of this other process. And I was told at this meeting very, very clearly that the process, the intention, was this process to run parallel with itself. Right now, it is not parallel with itself. Right now, I'm missing critical information. Right now, I'm missing the whole piece of the puzzle, or I'm missing a piece of the puzzle. Right now, I'm missing the whole picture. Right now, I'm missing a staff recommendation. I know there's developers in the room. I know there's landowners in the room. I guess I own my house, but beyond that, I'm not a landowner, and I'm certainly not a developer. And so I rely on staff recommendations to give me the information that is not in my skill set. So because I'm missing those pieces, this moment, I can't vote to move this process forward because I was told it would be parallel. And right now, it is not parallel.
Okay, thank you, Councilman. Councilman McKinney.
Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate the really passionate discussion up here, the passionate feedback and comments and insight of everybody across the board. Councilman Sandager, I appreciate your service on Bravo. Of course, your service here, and Councilman Omar as well. But your service on Bravo, and I also have the benefit and privilege of serving on Bravo, and acknowledge that, the purposes that it's there for, and the good for culture and heritage and arts. I also had the benefit of serving on the West Des Moines Historical Society. Spent a lot of time down at the Jordan House for different board meetings and activities and functions, and there is a tremendous amount of history there. I have just a personal, history, or personal interest in history as well, and I won't get into it, but I can appreciate it, and it's a sensitive spot that I've got, and I've shared that with, I think, everybody that's called and that I've had a conversation with. As far as part as folks are, I find it pretty interesting that this is actually in the history that I've been involved with West Des Moines Historical Society. I think it dates back to 2014, maybe. There's been conversation after conversation after conversation about what needs to happen there. And nothing substantial has happened there. I know there have been a lot of great plans. Mr. Hatfield, you and I have sat down over coffee with other developers. I know that the Historical Society has looked to work with developers throughout the process, trying to find a way to bring together people with a common understanding and a common goal to do what's right in the area. And this process right here, in my opinion, is the first real community conversation that's happened around that. And so I think it is a positive step that I'm hearing for the first time that folks are very interested in the community and residents coming together to maybe make something happen. I have heard, and Josh, I appreciate the tour. You reached out. I was more than willing to come in. We spent an hour and a half together taking the tour. I think we had another hour conversation on Friday about this. And what you've shared with me is a willingness to engage with the Historical Society. At what level, I have no idea, right? I mean, we had general conversations, but whether your ultimate goal is to end up where you're at or somewhere else, I don't know. But I think the fact that those conversations are happening between you and the Historical Society, perhaps the neighbors in the Historical Society, is something that I believe is a good thing to have happen. Whether you sell the city back the land, or whether you work with the Historical Society, I think that those are positive conversations to have. We're educating everybody on the council, staff, anybody online as to the history of the Historical Society, the history of James Jordan, just the whole area. So what I'm trying to say is the reason tonight I second the motion is because I think having this conversation, this process is bringing people, although separate, together. And so I'm mindful of what we have before us is about whether or not we are interested in supporting a business to explore jobs through the Economic Development Authority's High Quality Jobs Program. I'm supportive of that concept. Whether or not I'm ultimately supportive of a rezoning is going to be highly contingent upon whether or not there can be a common understanding with the interested parties, with primarily the Historical Society and the interest they've got down there. I understand they want to bring the Bennett School down. I understand they've got the log cabin and others. And so I support it tonight for the purpose of continuing these conversations. I want to make sure that there is an opportunity for these things to continue fleshing out. So that's where I'm at, Mayor.
Okay, thank you, Councilman. And anybody else?
I do.
Or put it to a vote.
I want to speak.
Okay, Councilwoman Hart.
Well, this is a loud mic.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, would you, yeah, thank you. First of all, I want to say to the folks that are here tonight, thank you for being here on both sides. This is what the process is all about. City government is engagement by the people, for the people. And we could have had an empty room tonight, but we had a room full of folks that want to share their heart and their passion for where they stand. A passion for jobs, a warehouse, and a passion for preserving the land and that part of the land for history. And as I read about the Jordan House, I read about what they stand for. We all sit here and we're talking about standing on the shoulders of giants. And as an African-American female, the only one on this city council, I know what it feels like to stand on the shoulders of giants. Those folks that have made the ultimate sacrifice for many of us. And this property was also the history, the Underground Railroad in Iowa. And I don't know about anybody in this room, but one thing I can say about an Underground Railroad, it was for blacks and slavery. Those that were trying to free themselves at a chance to live and at a chance to be free. Listen to those words. Stopping at a place that was a safe haven to be free. So I'm indebted to the Jordan House as a place of history that is a part of who I am and who my ancestors were. And my mom always said, if you forget where you've come from, you will never know where you're going. And I understand the need to clean up property. There's a whole lot of places in West Des Moines that could use some cleanup too, other than this piece of property. And I also am a firm believer, and I've sat on this dais where I've supported development, I've supported growth, and I've supported jobs. And my position does not have to be one or the other. It's a position given where we are and the place that we are and the property that we're dealing with. Is it the right place? I have to make that decision based on a variety of things. Where my heart stands, what I think is great for West Des Moines, whether I agree with my peers or not. We all are elected as individual thinkers, thought partners, in this whole notion of where we'd like this city to be. One thing I hate is that when I get to vote, there's always somebody happy and someone mad. But I hope that at the end of the day, when I do cast my vote, someone knows where I stand, unequivocally, unnuanced, and not trying to have both sides, because you have to take a stand when you sit in this seat. And tonight, I'm going to need to make a stand on the preservation of history, on the preservation of land that I think deserves more than what we need to give it because of the history and the greatness of what we can say is in West Des Moines where I live. History that no one can take away. History that's in that book. History that I hope your grandchildren and your grandchildren's children read it and understand the sacrifice and the commitment that a man made to say this will be freedom for those that choose to walk it. I said, let's see if we can come together and find alternative ways to get what you want and to give history what it deserves. Because when you take away history, there's no taking back. There's no taking back. I have too received all of your emails and your thoughts, and I've prayed about it because I knew that this moment would come where I have to stand for something at the cost of disappointing another person who's running a great company, hiring great employees. And I hope that there's still a way we can make that happen. But as a woman who made history of sitting here in this seat as the first African-American city councilwoman in a 125-year history, I have to stand for preserving the history of the Jordan House and what it stands for in the Underground Railroad. And that's not for me, but it's for the ancestors of which I stand. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for the great discussion. Everybody that came here, everybody up on the council dais. We have a motion and a second. Please vote.
What are we voting?
Two yes, 3 no. Motion failed.
Okay, item 7H fails. Moving on to item 7I, approval of state economic development financial incentives, assistance, innovative injection technologies, I2 Tech. We've got a resolution approving the application for high-quality jobs incentives at the state level contingent upon a comprehensive plan amendment and rezoning of the site. Should the applicant fail to rezone the site, the city would not provide the match for incentives for the incentives potentially received at the state. Okay. Somebody want to make a motion? Motion is to approve a resolution for the application for high-quality jobs. Since the last item went down, we'd have to figure out a different way, should this pass, to provide those incentives.
Excuse me, Mayor. So
Yeah.
what you're saying is because the prior motion failed, the prior item,
Right. The prior item failed, which would have set up an urban renewal area, which then we could have used the incentives through the urban renewal area to provide the match requirement for, if he's successful for the high-quality jobs. We would now have to, assuming this passes, we would have to pledge something else, which would probably come out of the general fund reserves. So is there a motion to approve the resolution approving the application for high-quality jobs to the Iowa Economic Development Authority?
I'll make a motion for it, yes, to
Okay,
approve
it's
it.
been moved. Is there a second?
I'm still trying to figure out, is this whole thing moot because the other thing failed?
No, it actually, in my opinion, it is not, because he's applying for the high-quality jobs tax credit program. I think the requirement of the city is to provide a match if he were to be successful in receiving the tax credits.
Okay.
The match can come in a number of different ways, I believe. I don't know if Clyde is here or somebody from Economic. Clyde, is that correct, Clyde? So it could be basically the fact that the last one failed. We are now not going to set up an urban renewal area, so the match would have to come out of the general fund reserve.
I'm tracking it. Okay, I'll
Okay?
second it.
All right, so it's been moved and
Don't need a
seconded.
development agreement, but you have a source of funds that's different.
Different source of funds. Okay, is there any discussion above and beyond the amazing discussion that we just had for the last, I don't know what, hour? Josh, come on up. Let me, Josh, before you go on, I want to explain it one more time. As a requirement of an application for the high-quality jobs program, the city has to approve a resolution for this application. And as part of it, if he is successful in receiving the high-quality jobs award, the city has to provide a certain match for that award. Typically, what we've done is we have had an urban renewal area, and we have used the TIF incentives to provide that match. The action that we just took on 7H denied moving forward with an urban renewal area. So there is no urban renewal area here that we are going to set up. So we can still approve a resolution for the application for high-quality jobs tax credits, but the incentives that we would have to provide in the way of a match would come from the general fund reserves in the form of cash. So that's what we have before us. Voting down 7H does not negate 7I.
So where will these jobs come from, and where will this building be?
And I want to be clear about that. The high-quality jobs tax credit program at the state, to be able to get that award, I'm not sure you have to provide even one single job. Okay, it's based on the capital investment that you make, and it's also based on the number of jobs that you create above a certain wage. But you don't necessarily have to create, I don't believe, a certain minimum number of jobs. But you certainly have to make an investment, a capital investment. But it's based on a sliding scale, based on the number of jobs that qualify. It's a very complex program. But we have to provide a match.
Yeah, I was just going to say, there's got to be some consideration from I2 Tech if we provide that match in another manner, like creation of jobs.
Right.
So, you know, what development agreement would suggest what they have to do or require what they have to do in return, that we would make a payment to them as an economic development grant.
Correct. Yes. Okay, Josh, sorry, go ahead.
I'm confused by it also. So, I mean, I imagine the votes will go approximately the same way. I just want to thank Matt, or Councilman McKinney, for your comments on bringing us together. I'm looking to you to support my champion and Doug and Councilman Lotz, I should say, to move something on this property. I've stepped up to purchase the property. I've reached out to the community to engage. It's going to be awkward for the first few days. My office is open. Gail, Sharon, everybody, I'm available. I'd love to talk about it. Let's come up with a solution. But nothing isn't going to work. We got to do something. Kevin, I'm sorry? Absolutely. And so I'd love your involvement, but, you know, what I've learned, though, councilmen and women, is that you get so many cooks in the kitchen, this is going to be a really tough one. So I'm looking for a group of people to step up, and let's talk about what we want to do and change this property, preserve the history, help a company grow, do all those things. I'm totally open for it. Love to talk about it. I'll listen to everybody. But at the end of the day, I'm just trying to make a difference in the community and grow my business. And I hope everybody will give me an opportunity to at least introduce yourselves to me, get to know me. I don't know who you are. You don't know who I am. I hope you'll give me that opportunity to at least earn your trust and respect going forward. So
Okay, I appreciate it. I'm going to call it to question in a second here, but I just want to say, I also want to work, assuming this doesn't pass, work with you, Josh, to try to figure out how we can help your company to grow and expand. I mean, as I said before, I think all of us up here are extremely proud of having I2 Tech in our community, and very grateful for all the jobs that you do provide for people in the community, as well as the economic impact that you provide. So should this not pass, I'd love to sit down with you and try to figure out, maybe bring Clyde in, figure out how we can try to help move forward, okay? And with that, please vote.
Wait.
Okay? We have a motion and a second, correct?
All right, vote,
Okay.
fine.
Okay. Okay, Kevin called for question. Please vote.
Two yes, two no, one abstaining, motion failed.
Okay, the motion fails. Moving on. All right, thanks for staying, Kevin. Item 8, receive, file, and/or refer. Item 8A, 2023 West Des Moines Waterworks Budget Amendment will receive and file that. Item 9, other matters. Are there any other matters that any council person would like to bring up at this point in time? There will be a number of us that will be meeting with Governor Reynolds tomorrow to discuss city issues. That is at 10 a.m. in the Capitol, and I look forward to that discussion. So, and with no further business to come before the City Council,